Hey everybody, Dan Anderson here, the Kingdom Way Ministries, with today's Monday Mission Post to incite and outfit your kingdom leadership. Well, today is the first Monday in December, and if you're anything like me, you are working hard to try to achieve some year-end objectives, do some planning for the next year. You're trying to plan for the holidays, whether you're traveling or whether you have company coming in. All these combinations of the pressures in the December season can create a lot of stress. Are you with me? And so I'd like to share with you today another principle, an acrostic of spelled out stress. Last 2 weeks we looked at the S and the T, and today I want to look at the R with you of how to mitigate stress in this season so you can enter into what God's calling is for you with greater freedom, joy, and purpose and intentionality, and not let your mission get hijacked by stress. So today we're talking about the R in the acrostic, and here is what I want to share with you. It's more about being robed than being robbed. Robed than being robbed. And here's what I mean. In Isaiah 64:10, I believe it says that we are clothed. If we are believers in Jesus Christ, we are clothed with the righteousness of Jesus. That is our identity. That is something that is real. Even if we've never achieved perfection, which we never will on this side of life, God sees us as clothed in his righteousness. That's an identity statement. But here's what happens is we allow our identities to get hijacked. Some of you have probably experienced this as I have. I've gotten my identity stolen. I've had a credit card or two or three, maybe even compromised. It happens every single day. But what we don't realize is that we're allowing our identity in Christ to get hijacked every single day. And it's creating a lot of stress for us. For example, I want to share a story. I've been reading through the Gospels, kind of the Christmas season, reminding myself of the Christmas story again. And I read the story of John when Jesus began his ministry. All of his disciples come to him and say, "Hey, John, did you know that there's this guy Jesus over there? There's droves following him. He's baptizing tons of people. What are you going to do about it?" And he said a couple things that's just astonishing, and it has to relate with his understanding and stepping into the fullness of his identity. He first said, "I must first decrease and he must increase." He knew who he was. He's subject to the Creator. Then he said this, a powerful statement. He says, "A man can only receive what he's been given from God." And this is what creates a lot of stress. We place thoughts in our mind about who we need to be or who others want us to be, like John's disciples, and we take on that identity, or we forget altogether what he's called us to do and to not to do, and that creates a lot of stress, trying to be like someone else. This is just one of many, many examples. Let's think of a couple others. Christ and God and his word tells us that we are adopted and adored children of God. How often do we live as orphans? God tells us that we are beloved sons and daughters of God. How often do we run around each and every day with shame and guilt and do not believe in God's favor and his love, and we feel like we're bothering him with a prayer request? The list goes on and on and on. When we do not truly understand our identity in Christ and step into the fullness of that, it creates tons of stress. So I want to encourage you, as you worship Christ this Christmas season, as you think about your mission, your calling, the goals you have for the end of this year and into the next, do you really know who you are in him? Give me some examples in the comments below of ways you forget your identity or identity statements that God's words tells us of that defines us that you're trying to step into. We'd love to hear it. And what difference does it make? And here's another thing. If you are interested, make a comment or make a post in the comments when you see this post and just say, I'd like the identity statements that you mentioned in the video. I have a list I'd love to send you that has a ton of scriptures of who Christ tells us that we really are in him. And when we don't step into that, it creates stress and it derails us from really fulfilling his mission. So as you think about that, put your comments below, and I want to encourage you, I'm going to be praying for you that you step into the fullness of your identity, not allow it to be robbed, but to be robed in the fullness of his identity. So I hope this is encouraging, helpful to you. Love to hear from you. Don't forget to seek to make him famous as you seek to make your work and your ministry one. Lord bless you and have a great day.